There is often initial reluctance on the part of some family members to be involved in the family group conference. But through dialogue and debate, the family can begin to work through the issues at hand with structure and help from the coordinator.
I found with my extended family, some of them were fearful of entering the process. And I think largely that was because they were fearful of the blame culture. And I think as a family member, I explained that, it's not about blame. It's the last thing that it's about. It's about moving forward. And maybe admitting to each other that we could have done things differently. I think once that was explained, everybody kind of took that on board.
Hello everybody, I'd like to welcome you all to Katie's Family Group Conference.
The coordinator will chair the first part of the conference to ensure the family have clear information and that they are enabled to participate fully. Ground rules are normally negotiated prior to the meeting, but the coordinator will remind the family of these rules. Meetings do sometimes get heated, so the family are encouraged to take breaks or call on the coordinator when needed.
If you need to call the coordinator or the social worker back into your private family time at any point, please feel free to do so. Sometimes you have questions that come up in your discussions and we would hopefully provide the answers. And finally, there's no time limit to the family group conference, so please take as long or as short as you like. Now that you're here together, it's a great opportunity to discuss Katie's future.
The referrer, who is often a social worker, is also present to clearly outline their concerns and give the family the bottom line.
Basically, in summary, is that Katie has been living with Christine and Paul for the first 6 months of her life because Carl and Susan have been using drugs and have been unable to care for Katie. Carl and Sue have worked really hard with Children's Services and have had regular contact with Katie, supervised contact, and I know are very keen to continue with that. I know this is a difficult meeting for everyone, but we need to be looking at making short-term and long-term plans for who cares for Katie.
The social worker makes it clear that the bottom line is that Children's Services believe that Katie would be at risk if she went home to live with her parents at the moment. She tells the family that should they propose this in their plan, the local authority would immediately apply to court for an order to stop that happening. The social worker will have already set out in writing the key concerns that the FGC should address, as well as available support such as drug rehabilitation and information about legal options, including what consequent financial help may be available if Katie remains living with her extended family, and where to get independent legal advice. The family have also identified additional issues that they want to address at the meeting, including contact between Carl and Susan and Carl's older children from a previous relationship. Once the family are clear about the key decisions the plan must address, the coordinator, referrer and any other service providers will leave the room to allow for private family time. The advocates, with the permission of the family, may stay for the early part of private time, but will then withdraw.
All she wants is Katie back. She wants Katie back living with her and she can't have her.
Well, she can't because she's on drugs.
But she's trying her best. She's really, really trying, aren't you, Susan? Right.
She's stopped before, started again, stopped before. Katie can't go back to that. We've worked hard to get her in a routine.
And there's no proof that she hasn't been taking drugs. Has she taken drug tests?
Have I ever turned up at your house high as a kite?
No, but you...
Well, isn't that proving myself that I am willing to give up drugs to look after my daughter?
We're not saying that.
No, but you're not reliable.
But if you turned up full of drugs, you wouldn't come in.
How far do you live? You live too far away. How can I get there? For me, getting up there all the time, it's a bit difficult, so why can't Mum have her a couple of days a week?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Because you're not well, you've got a bad back.
Well, I know I've got a bad back, but I could manage and I could.
It's not feasible. She's in a routine at home.
That we've worked really hard to get her in, and to come to you is just going to mess it all up.
I don't see why I could have her in a routine.
She needs stability.
We're not saying all the time, I am a gran.
It's not an option. It's not an option.
Why is it not an option?
We can't take her out of a routine. We can't take her out of the security that we have built up for Katie. She feels secure. We're not shifting her from one house to another house. It can't happen.
But it's a bit hard for me to get up to your house all the time to come and see her because you live too far away.
We can help with that. We can work together with that. We're going to lose Katie if we don't work together. That's what all this is about. We've got to work with Katie. And it says in here, you cannot have her. The bottom line is, as the social worker has told us, you cannot have Katie while you're taking drugs.
The time set aside for families within a conference is often the first opportunity that family members and the wider network have had to sit down and look together at a solution to any difficulties they may have been experiencing. It empowers the family. It transfers the decision-making power over to them. It's their plan that they're coming up with. It's crucial in terms of families developing the confidence and feeling that they've had a say in any decision-making.
During family private time, the family is encouraged to develop a plan, write it down and check that everyone is happy with the arrangements.
Come on, we've got to sort this out now. We've got to get something down on paper to show the social services. We've got to make a decision. We've got to move forward. Katie's got to stay with us.
Yeah, but I miss Katie. I haven't seen her for a long time.
We can work at all this afterwards. We've got to make a decision. Come on, Carl, you've got to talk to her. We've got to see reason here.
Susan, I agree with Paul. The only way we're going to get Katie back if we take detox and go into rehab. Otherwise, we're not going to get her.
If you don't follow this through, you will lose Katie.
Yeah, I guess that's the only thing I've got to do, isn't it? For Katie. But I'm going to have to try my hardest to get off what I'm on.
So you go through detox, and then you can have Katie back. But you've got to prove it. You've got to go through the system.
Yes. I will go through the system. I'm determined to help myself get over the drugs and all the problems I've had. I want to see Katie.
So do Ria and Jack.
Ria and Jack will see Katie.
Good.
I've not been well. I've let you all down, but I'm willing. I want to see you.
We need to do something now. It needs to be sorted because it's not fair on them. We know you've had it hard, but so have they.
I don't mind. If Susan doesn't mind Ria and Jack coming down to see us weekends.
I don't think that would be a good idea. I think the two kids need to get to know you before me jumping in and stepping in.
Yeah. Well, maybe they could come round to mine at weekends and then you come and visit her until it's all better.
Well, we will do that. We'll make that arrangements and sort that out.
It's not as if we see you enough anyway. We barely even know you. And we never met Katie.
I will make up for that and you will see Katie.
You got a lot of making up to do.
I have.
Once the family have agreed on a plan, they call the coordinator and other workers back into the meeting to discuss and agree the plan. The family's plan has to be approved by the referrer and must take into account all the family members.
How was your private time? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Great. So do you want to start from the top, Kelly, and I'll take some notes. Yeah.
Okay. Susan and Carl, they agreed to go on a detox as soon as possible, and could Claire sort that out, please?
Okay. Sorry, Claire, is that something that's feasible?
Yeah, I can arrange the referral within the next couple of days.
Susan and Carl, if that's something that would be okay with you, yeah, great. Okay.
They also said they will cooperate with the local authority to get Katie home.
The plan also addresses what childcare support from the local authority Paul and Christine need to be able to continue to temporarily care for Katie. Although Plan A, supported by the entire family, is for Katie to eventually return to her parents, the family's contingency plan is that if Carl and Susan can't demonstrate that Katie will be safe in their care, then Katie's aunt and uncle will raise her permanently. The plan also addresses contact with Carl's older children. The family group conference has now led to a structured plan, and the family members know exactly what needs to be done and who needs to do it.
Okay, thanks Kelly for all the details. It looks like you've all got a really good family group conference plan together. Is it looking, from what you've heard, as if this is a plan that you can agree?
Absolutely, and I think it's a really good plan.
So the next stage will be for me to type up the notes that I've made today and from Kelly's notes and get a copy of the family group conference plan, your plan, out to everybody that's here today.
The coordinator will send a family plan to all members of Katie's family and the professionals who attend the conference, including the social worker. Since the local authority has agreed a plan, the social worker will then ensure that becomes the core of the plan to safeguard Katie.